Hi, Namaskar. After a long time, again back to Legal Pundit with a new video. So, today's video I am going to discuss few legal rights which are provided to us by the Indian law, the Indian Constitution, exclusively to women for the women empowerment. A lot of people say that I am maybe a feminist because most of the times I'm talking about the laws related to women and they don't talk about any law for the protection of men, or there are cases where injustice is being served to men as well, and they do troll me that you are a big feminist. It's not so, though this video was planned long before, but in the coming up series I will definitely talk about some laws related to the protection of men as well. In today's video we will cover up the law of law related to the women's right that empowers women, and that covers the right to divorce, right to residence in a matrimonial house with or without divorce, right to maintenance, right to abortion, and its right to report against domestic violence, right to seek matrimonial rights, right to seek maintenance and alimony, right to custody of our children, right to property, the right to share in property, and many such things which our constitution, our Indian legal system has provided exclusively to women for her protection and empowerment. First law, according to the section 13 of Hindu Marriage Act 1955, a woman has a right to file for divorce, and she does not require anybody's permission, anybody's consent, be it her parents or be it her husband, to file for divorce. There can be many grounds for filing for divorce. Either the husband has willfully deserted the wife for a longer period of time, either the husband is serving cruelty, he's been physically abusive, verbally abusive, cruelty which is defined under section 498A, any kind of mental, physical harassment is there, a husband is not maintaining or supporting her financially to meet her needs or her children education for that matter. In case of any kind of a vulnerable disease which is not treatable, any kind of mental disorder that a husband is suffering for a long period of time, and it is difficult for a wife to live with that person, and she can anyways go and file for divorce. And let me just repeat this, she does not require anybody's consent or permission to do so. And if she is being forcefully thrown out of her matrimonial home is where she's residing for a longer period of time after marriage with her husband, that is her matrimonial home. And any kind of mental disorder I have mentioned, or any other disease which is not treatable or which is anyways going to directly and indirectly affect her health, if she remains in contact with that person, she can anyways go and file for the divorce under section 13 of Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Her right to file for domestic violence. Domestic violence, cruelty, harassment, it can be any kind of mental, verbal, sexual, economical, any kind of cruelty against a woman. It is covered under domestic violence. It can be physical abuse, it can be emotional abuse, it can be sexual, economical, or any form of abuse. She has a right to go and complain, and there are various forums. She can file an FIR, direct FIR also. She can complain to the Women's Commission, and she can claim her protection. She can claim her maintenance. If her matter for divorce goes on floor, she can claim for the interim maintenance as well, and she can claim for the custody of children for that matter. And she has a right that she can continue to live in the same house even before or during the process of divorce proceedings. With or without divorce also, she can continue to live in the house. Right to shelter, right to residence in a matrimonial home is her right. Video also I have covered this topic, the right to maintenance of wife, children and dependent parents, and I repeat, under section 125 of CRPC, a woman has a right to claim maintenance monthly or one-time full and final settlement in the name of alimony if she has decided to be separated or get divorced for that matter. Even if she is not divorced, with or without divorce also, she has a right to claim maintenance for herself and for her children's health, education, etc., whether or not she is living under the same roof. This is her right to claim maintenance from her husband. It is provided by section 125 of CRPC, and this is a lifetime right. You cannot take it away from her. And if the marriage fails under Hindu Marriage Act 1955 during the dissolution of marriage, she can file for the one-time alimony or the lifetime maintenance as it is calculated at the rate of 20 to 25% of the total monthly income of a person, not just a salary but a total monthly income. That can be an extra income apart from the salary, which is any rental income or any side business or so on. So the total income is taken into consideration, and the 20-25% of that is calculated appropriately by the court, and she is granted a maintenance accordingly. Has a right to claim custody of her children. See, during any kind of a matrimonial dispute, even if you are filing for divorce, even if you are not filing for the divorce, you are living separately for some reasons. If there is a dispute which is unresolved, if a child is up to or below 5 years of age, a mother has a superior right over the custody of their kids. If child is above 5 years of age, then whom the custody should be granted is a question which is decided by the court, and the conditions that are dependent. If kids are preteens or they are elders or like they are bigger in age, then obviously their consent is asked for in the court. But under the Guardians and Wards Act 1890, a mother has an equal right of custody to her children, and if there are conditions like harassment, cruelty, physical abuse, refusal to maintain children, or if there are conditions which kind of creates an indisposition in the family, then mother can definitely claim the custody of her kids, and it is then decided by the courts, and after the due permission, it is decided by both the parties whether the co-parenting will be allowed or not, and she can always fight till the end for the custody of her children if she does not want the kids to meet the father. If there are any criminal charges against him, if there are charges of any kind of mental disorder, any kind of disease where she does not want her kids to be meeting the father, then it is a matter which is brought on floor and decided by the court respectively. The right that a woman has is a right to abortion. Again, this is something which I have discussed in detail in my previous video. The Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971, this gives a woman a full autonomy to abort a child without the permission of her husband. There are conditions attached, which are the conditions if whether or not she is married, she has a right to abortion, and the safer period for this termination of pregnancy has been increased for up to 24 weeks. The right to property. There have been cases and the decisions that have come in favor of a married daughter. See, whether a daughter is married or not married, she has an equal right to inherit a father's property if father dies intestate. If there is there are no siblings, and even if the girl child she's married, she has a right to inherit her father's property. Similarly, if there is no living will, or unless a husband has mentioned in a will where he has excluded wife from any kind of claim in his self-acquired property. Otherwise, in case of death of a husband also, a woman has a full right to claim the property of husband, and then Indian Succession Act definitely takes place, and if there are surviving kids also, so the property is appropriated accordingly by the court, but she has a full right to inherit the property. Again, if a husband remarries, and without dissolving the first marriage, let's say. So the right in property always remains with the first wife if the marriage is not dissolved according to the Indian laws and the husband remarries, then the right to property, inherit property, remains with the first wife. Comes to right of residence. First of all, there is no such law that defines that if a girl child is married, a married woman cannot go and live in her parental house. During the lifetime or after the death of a parent, she has a right to residence in her parental house, first thing. Second thing, for a married woman, she has a right to residence in her matrimonial home even if the house does not belong to her husband. During the lifetime, if there are any court proceedings going on for the separation or divorce, with or without divorce, if there are any proceedings going for the maintenance, for that matter, a woman has an exclusive right to residence in her matrimonial home even if the husband dies and the house does not belong to the husband, and if it is has been a joint family, she has a right to residence with her in-laws or husband's parents, for that matter. So these are a few rights which are granted by our constitution. Our Indian legal system protects these rights for the empowerment of married women. So it is very well said that सिर्फ 7 फेरे ही नहीं, 7 कानून जो एक मैरिड लेडी के लिए बनाए गए हैं उसकी प्रोटेक्शन के लिए और उसकी एम्पावरमेंट के लिए, वो जानना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है औरतों को. तो everybody should watch this and know, and they should share this information to all females so that they know कि 7 फेरों के साथ साथ ये 7 कानून जानने भी आपके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है. Stay connected with Legal Pundit. Thank you.